Vayehili Yeshua Ozi Vezimaratia 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 Vayehili Yeshua.
Thank you, Sharon, for giving us so much strength for the Daily Daven, and everybody is welcome. It's delightful to have you with us. We hope that you're managing to keep warm, rugging up, and we hope that you'll feel warmed by our prayers together. So today's Torah reading, well, this week's Torah reading is called Matot. And I thought that I would use it as the basis for both this Daily Daven, and I'm also doing one on Thursday. So it's quite nice actually to have that sense that I can pick out some different things from the Torah portion, which I don't do very often. So I used as my source My Jewish Learning, which is a wonderful website. You can find so many things there if ever you feel like looking. It's just, you can Google it, My Jewish Learning. It's a great place to go. And this, the notes that the words that I'm using for this time are by a rabbi called Elliot Kukla. Elliot Kukla comes from the Bay Area Jewish Healing Center. They are a rabbi, the first rabbi of transgender that I know of, and they have brought all sorts of real sensitivities to Torah through their own experience, but also through working in that healing center. So Matot is we find the Jewish people coming to the Jordan River. They've been traveling for a very long time. They've had lots of different stops on the way, as you know. And Rabbi Kukla talks about being safe and secure. That's the need that you have before you can actually feel at home. And that's the kind of theme. It's that theme of wandering. And so they're in the pursuit of the promised land. That's where they're heading to. So when they're camped by the River Jordan, Reuben and Gad look at the location and they think this would be an ideal place to stop. And so they say that they would really like to stay put. They don't want to continue traveling with the rest of the tribes. And Moses is apparently appalled. He sees this as an abandonment of the Jewish community. And that they're all struggling. They're so close to coming to the promised land, yet they've got a lot to go through still. And Moses feels that the tribes of Reuben and Gad should be there to help them first before then helping themselves to settle. So it's partly that sense of, value of individual versus community. And it also reminded him of how many people there are without homes. That the current figures show there are actually 89 plus million refugees in the world at the moment. It has shot up following the Syrian exodus, following what's happened in Ukraine. All over the world, there are masses of people of refugee status who have no home. And most of us have a story about where we come from. My antecedents are from Germany via England. And I came here actually almost 25 years ago. So I'm a migrant too. And Elliot Kukla says this: Jews have a powerful and intimate relationship to migration and the search for home. When we dare to tell our stories within the widest possible global context, we connect our sacred and familial memories of wandering to the global impact of violence and displacement. We have a unique voice that we can lift up to educate and advocate for the rights of displaced persons everywhere, and for fair immigration laws, both in America and of course in Australia. And I just thought I would mention TBI's Project Dignity at this point, which actually has been focusing on the needs of asylum seekers and refugees for some years now. We've provided dinners, we've had multi-faith dinners, outings, and we give regular gifts to people. But in recent years, in fact, since COVID, the Crisis Food Project has provided boxes of fruit and veg and bags of groceries to 40 families per week for more than 2 years. Many of the recipients are from Iran, from Afghanistan now. They are some Sudanese, some from Syria, Iraq, and they would have had no source of food nor money because many of them are on bridging visas. Some of them have student scholarships, but not money to live on. So it's been a pretty fantastic project run by Ellie Brooks and Nicole Brown primarily. I'm just an also ran. But if you would like to help, if any of you feel you have a little bit of time, it doesn't need to be a great amount of time. There are lots of tasks that we can actually ask of you to do, which are could be very enjoyable, very satisfying. So please let me know if you're interested and if you'd like to hear more. We've actually got a meeting at TBI on Thursday evening, a gathering of people coming together to talk about what's happening. So it's very apt timing. So there we are. And you really can make a difference and help people to feel at home in our land. And we move on now to the Baruchu, which is on page 4. Thank you, Sharon.
Baruchu et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach leolam vaed.
On page 6, Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bidvaro ma'ariv aravim, b'chokhma poter sha'arim, ובתבונה משנה עיתים, ומחליף את הזמנים, ומסדר את הכוכבים במשמורותיהם ברקיע כרצונו. בורא יום ולילה, גולל אור מפני חושך, וחושך מפני אור, ומעביר יום ומביא לילה, ומבדיל בין יום ובין לילה, אדוני צבאות שמו. אל חי וקיים, תמיד ימלוך עלינו לעולם ועד. Baruch atah Adonai ha'ma'ariv aravim. And on page 8, we hear about God's love for us.
Ahavat olam bet Yisrael amcha ahavta Torah u'mitzvot chukim u'mishpatim otanu limadeta Ken Adonai Eloheinu b'shochbeinu u'vekumeinu nasiach b'chukecha v'nismach b'divrei toratecha ובמצוותיך לעולם ועד, כי הם חיינו באורך ימינו, ובהם נגה יומם ולילה, ואהבתך אל תסיר ממנו לעולמים. ברוך אתה אדוני אוהב עמו ישראל. שמע ישראל אדוני אלוהינו אדוני אחד. ברוך שם כבוד מלכותו לעולם ועד. ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך, והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום הלבביך, ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאות ידיך, והיו לתותבות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך. ויאמר אדוני אל משה לאמור, דבר אל בני ישראל, ואמרת עליהם, ועשו להם ציצית על כנפי בגדיהם לדורותם, ונתנו על ציצית הכנף בתיר תכלת. והיה לכם לציצית וראיתם אותו, וזכרתם את כל מצוות אדוני ועשיתם אותם, ולא תטורו אחרי לבבכם ואחרי עיניכם אשר אתם זונים אחריהם, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים להיות לכם אלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אדוני אלוהיכם אמת.
אמת ואמונה כל זאת, וקיים עלינו כי הוא אדוני אלוהינו ואין זולתו, ואנחנו ישראל עמו. You work wonders without number, marvels beyond count. You give us life and steady our footsteps. You performed miracles for us before Pharaoh, signs and wonders in the land of the Egyptians. You led your people Israel out from their midst to freedom for all time. When your children witnessed your dominance, they praised your name in gratitude and they accepted your sovereignty. Moses, Miriam, and all Israel sang to you together, lifting their voices joyously. And we're on page 16.
מי כמוך בעירים אדוני, מי כמוך נדר בקודש, נורא תהילות, עושה פלא, נורא תהילות, עושה פלא, מלכותך ראו בניך, בוקר Adonai yimloch leolam vaed. Adonai yimloch leolam vaed. Adonai yimloch leolam vaed. Bnei Makiv Adonai et Yaakov, וגנו מיד חזק ממנו, ברוך אתה אדוני, גר ישראל.
The Hashivenu on page 18. I'd like us just to read the reading on page 19. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Eternal One, help us to walk with good companions, to live with hope in our hearts and eternity in our thoughts, that we may lie down in peace and rise up waiting to do your will. And we turn to the Hashkivenu on the page, across the page.
Hashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu leshalom, v'hamidenu malkeinu l'chaim. Spread the shelter of your peace over us. Guide us with wisdom, compassion, and trust. Hashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu leshalom, v'hamidenu malkeinu l'chaim. Save us for the sake of your name. Shield us from hatred, sorrow, and pain. Hashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu leshalom, v'hamidenu malkeinu l'chaim, l'chaim, l'chaim.
Beautiful. Thank you, Sharon. And we turn now to the Chatzi Kaddish, which is like a bookmark between the evening service and the Amidah, and it's on page 20. And if you stand, if you're able, and otherwise, let's sing together. Yitgadal v'yitgadash merabah ועמד יברח ירותי, וימליך מלכותי, בחייכון וביומכון, ובחייך בית ישראל. בעגלה, בעגלה, ובזמן קריב, ואמרו אמן, יהי שמי רבה מבורך, לעולם ולעלמי עלמיה יתברך. יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא ויתהדר ויתהלל ויתהלל שמי דקודשה בריחו לאלה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה תושבחתה ונחמתה דעה מהירם בעלמא ואמרו Amen. We turn to page 74 for the standing prayer, the tefillah or the amidah, and we start with a little reminder to center ourselves, and that's Adonai Sfatai Tiftach Ufi Yagi Tehilatech. Eternal God, open my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. And we'll have that and the first 3 paragraphs of the Amidah, and then we'll have a little bit of time for some private prayer or for reading through picking out some of the prayers from here.
Adonai Sfatai Tiftach Ufi Yagi Tehilatecha Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu ve'Elohei Avotenu v'Imotenu Elohei Avraham Elohei Yitzchak Elohei Yaakov Elohei Sarah Elohei Rivka Elohei Rachel Elohei Leah Ha'el Hagadol Ha'gibor v'Hanora Elyon Gomer Chasadim Tovim v'Koneh HaKol וזוכר חסדי אבות ואימהות, ומביא גאולה לפני בניהם, למען שמו באהבה, מלך עוזר ומושיע ומגן, ברוך אתה אדוני, מגן אברהם וישראל שרה, אתה גימול לעולם אדוני, מחיה מתים מטרה והושיע, משיב הרוח ומוריד הגשם, מזריח השמש ומוריד הטל, מחכה חיים בחסד, מחיה מתים ברחמים רבים, סומך נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו איש עפר. מי כמוך בעל גבורות ומתמלך, מלך במיתו חיה ומשמיח ישועה, ונאמן אתה לחיות מתים, ברוך אתה אדוני מחיה המתים, אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש, וקדושים בכל יום יהגגוך סלע, ברוך אתה אדוני האל הקדוש.
May the words of my mouth and the meditations of my heart be acceptable to you, O God, my rock and my redeemer.
יהיו לרצון אמרי פי והגיון ליבי לפניך אדוני צורי אדוני צורי וגואלי וגואלי יהיו לרצון אמרי פי והגיון ליבי לפניך אדוני צורי אדוני צורי אדוני צורי וגואלי וגואלי וגואלי.
And we turn to page 586 for the Aleinu prayers, which are very ancient and in which we praise God, the sovereign of the universe.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצא בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא, הקדוש ברוך הוא. ונאמר והיה אדוני ומלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו אחד.
And as we gather at the end of this service, we want to support those in our community who are observing Shiva, Shloshim, or Atzait. And we remember those who are no longer with us, people that we've loved, people that we've known well, people who are just part of us. And it's important to remember and to share that memory with others. So if there's somebody that you're thinking of, please do write their name in the chat. I don't know if there's anybody already written in there.
Not yet, no, not at the moment.
So I'll ask you again later. We remember those who've died due to COVID as well, because the numbers are up again. And so we think of those people who've lost their lives or who've lost people very dear to them. And we also think of those who are whose lives have been lost because of the fighting in the Ukraine, and people all over the world really who haven't got what they need in order to sustain themselves. And at this time, we particularly think from our community of Michael Rakoff, Sophia Gershenson, and Phil Phillips, who were all laid to rest this week. And in the Shloshim, David Caffin, Shirley Cass, Joseph Epstein, Simon Frieden, Gustava Jason, Eleanor Nadler Schwartz, Felicia Silberbach, Gert Silva. And the yard sites for tonight and tomorrow, Bianca Kate Orber, Richard Langfelder, and Zelik Rosenfeld. And we join together in saying the Morn's Kaddish. And please do stand if you're able. It's on page 598. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei rabbah, ve'alma divra chirutei ve'amlich malchutei, b'chayachon u'v'yomechon u'v'chayei d'chol beit Yisrael, ba'agala u'v'zman kariv ve'imru amen. Yehei shemei rabbah mevorach le'olam u'lalmei almaya, yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'al v'yitromam v'yitnaseh v'yithadar v'yithaleh v'yithalal shemei dekudasha barichu la'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tushbachata v'nechemata da'amiran ba'alma v'imru amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shmaya v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Hamakom yenachem etchem b'toch sha'ar avlei Tzion v'Yerushalayim. May all of us be blessed and comforted among the mourners of Zion and Jerusalem. Were there any other names, Sharon, to be remembered?
No name.
Not
Not tonight.
Okay, well, thank you so much for joining us. And do please get in touch with me if you think you might be interested in Project Dignity. And do please keep warm. And if you can, keep well. And we wish you a really good week, a Shavua Tov. Sharon, what are you going to sing for us?
We will conclude tonight's service with the words of Odjavo Shalom Aleinu.
Thank you, lovely. Thank you for your beautiful singing.
Thank you, Sue. Thank you very much for your kind words, as always. Odjavo Shalom Aleinu, Odjavo Shalom Aleinu, Odjavo Shalom Aleinu ve'al kulam. Odjavo Shalom Aleinu, Odjavo Shalom Aleinu, Odjavo Shalom Aleinu ve'al kulam. Salam Aleinu ve'al kol ha'olam. Salam, salam, salam Aleinu ve'al kol ha'olam. Salam, salam. Odjavo Shalom Aleinu, Odjavo Shalom Aleinu, Odjavo Shalom Aleinu ve'al kulam. Odjavo Shalom Aleinu, Odjavo Shalom Aleinu, Odjavo Shalom Aleinu ve'al kulam. Salam Aleinu ve'al kol ha'olam. Salam, salam, salam Aleinu ve'al kol ha'olam. Salam, salam. Odjavo Shalom Aleinu, Odjavo Shalom Aleinu, Odjavo Shalom Aleinu ve'al kulam. Odjavo Shalom Aleinu, Odjavo Shalom Aleinu, Odjavo Shalom Aleinu ve'al kulam.
Thank Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.